Life is not flat. It is not meant to be walked without resistance, without ascent. Life is a mountain, and you were born to climb, not because it is easy, but because it is worthy. Not because the peak is promised, but because the journey awakens the soul. You were not made for comfort. You were not created to wander the valleys, endlessly seeking shallow joys. You were shaped for altitude, for the cold air of clarity, for the sacred solitude found only on the high slopes of meaning. And meaning is not something you find. It is something you build like a path carved into stone, by steps taken again and again and again, even when it hurts, even when it is lonely, even when others turn back. Socrates said, "The soul grows through struggle, not by avoiding hardship, but by engaging with it, with reason, with courage, with discipline, because the examined life is the life that climbs. It does not drift. You must ask, what is my summit? What am I ascending toward? What ideal do I serve? What truth do I live for? For if you do not know, you will wander endlessly, or worse, you will chase someone else's dream and forget your own plateau, taught that the visible world is a shadow, and the true world, the world of forms of ideals, is higher above us, unseen but real. And to reach it, we must turn upward, away from illusion, away from noise, and toward essence. The climb is inner, not outward. You ascend not by geography, but by virtue, not by distance, but by depth. And each decision, each disciplined choice, each moment of quiet reflection lifts you higher. You are not the body alone. You are not the mind alone. You are soul, divine light, wrapped in flesh and spirit. And the soul grows only through challenge, through devotion, through sacrifice. You may stumble. Yes, you will fall. Yes, but every fall is part of the ascent, for it teaches humility, and without humility, you cannot reach the heights. Aristotle said that the good life is one of purpose, guided by reason, shaped by virtue, and aimed toward eudaimonia, a state of flourishing, not comfort, not luxury, but deep, meaningful joy. The joy that only comes when you live in harmony with your highest self. Epictetus reminded us that you do not control the mountain, you do not control the wind, or the snow, or the storm, but you control your will, your response, your inner fire, and that is enough. And so you rise, not because the world praises you, but because your soul commands you, not because it is profitable, but because it is right, not because it is easy, but because it is true. Do not wait for the mountain to move. Do not wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect moment, only now, only this step, only this breath, only this act of courage. You will be tempted to stop, to descend, to rest too long, but you must remember why you started. You must remember the call that stirred your heart in the beginning, the whisper that said, rise, climb, become meaning, is not given. It is earned. It is etched into the soul by effort, by perseverance, by devotion. And when you reach the summit, when you stand in the stillness of truth, you will not boast, you will not shout, you will simply breathe and know, this is who I am, this is why I came, this is what I was made for. And from there you will see other peaks, not as threats, but as invitations, not as burdens, but as blessings. For the soul that climbs becomes strong, not only for itself, but for others. Your ascent is not selfish, it is sacred, because when you rise, you become a light. When you climb, you become a guide. And when you reach meaning, you remind others that they too can rise. So keep climbing with grace, with fire, with peace in your heart and purpose in your steps. The mountain is waiting, not to defeat you, but to reveal you. In every life there comes a storm, and it does not ask for permission. It does not knock gently. It breaks and roars and tears through what we thought was unshakable. It tests the foundations of the self, the soul, and the story we've told ourselves. But hear this: the storm does not come to destroy you. It comes to reveal you. It comes to strip away the false, to burn away the fragile, so that what is real may remain, what is eternal may be known. Heraclitus spoke it long ago. The way up and the way down are one and the same, and fire is the fundamental element for change. The soul must be forged through fire, not to be consumed, but to be clarified, to be awakened. You are not the chaos. You are the flame within it. You are not the noise. You are the silence that endures beneath it. You are not what breaks. You are what bends, but never snaps. When the winds howl, when the path vanishes, when you feel alone in the darkness, remember this Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself," and mastery begins with stillness, with anchoring the self in what cannot be taken. Wealth can vanish, friends may leave the body, may weaken, but the flame of reason, the light of virtue, the quiet voice of the soul remains untouched. If you choose to guard it, you must learn to hold fast to what is yours, not in the outer world, but in the inner realm. Your thoughts, your choices, your clarity, your peace. No one can steal these from you unless you surrender them. When all is loud, be the quiet. When all is panicked, be the calm. When all are lost, be the direction. Not for glory, but for grace. Not for power, but for presence. Plato taught that the soul remembers truths beyond this world. And when we meditate, when we reflect, when we rise above reaction, we reconnect with that deeper wisdom. The wisdom not of noise, but of light. So when the storm rages, you do not fight it. You stand within it. You become the still point around which the winds break like waves on stone. You endure not passively, but fiercely, with full presence. You say to the wind, "I do not fear you." You say to the dark, "I carry my own light." You say to the confusion, "I walk by truth and reason and virtue, not by emotion, not by fear." This is not to say the pain is not real. This is not to say you will not cry, you will not doubt, but even there, in the tears, in the ache, in the silence, you will remain, you will breathe, and you will choose again to rise again, to stand again, to burn again, because you are fire, but not wildfire. You are the sacred flame, the hearth of wisdom, the torch of courage, the candle in the cave. You were born not just to survive storms, but to illuminate them. Aristotle said, "The highest good is not mere existence, but a life of purpose, guided by virtue and courage. And no life is ever measured by ease, but by how one faced difficulty, by how one rose again and again. So in this storm, you are not lost, you are being revealed. And if you stay still, if you stay faithful, if you stay awake to what is eternal within you, you will emerge not the same, but greater, deeper, truer. You are the temple and the flame, the vessel and the fire, the silence and the song, and no storm can ever take that from you. Hold that truth as you walk, and you will never walk in darkness. If you felt inspired by our journey through the Hellenic horizons, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.